It's fantastic to see the young designers coming up. What's on their mind?
As a designer, you typically dream of making things that are meaningful to people and to change the world through that. So the scholarship respects, actually searches for this dream of the candidate and how they want to bring this dream forward.
Design has, for my 50+ years as professional, always been part of my work. From the very beginning, it was to design a power tool for human beings and to design refrigerators or design washing machines, design mobile phones, and design for functionality, and also design for sustainability.
We don't judge if things will be profitable or have a lot of market success.
We want to see an original perspective, showing us that they want to contribute to society. They take an active role in helping us solving the grand challenges that the planet faces today.
When someone values your work and then you are awarded with, it makes you feel like, okay, I'm on good track.
What we are after is a powerful vision for how the future will look like and the kind of role and impact they want to play in it.
Don't be afraid to apply. It might take some time, also spend some time.
I'm really looking for the next recipient of my design scholarship.
So my name is Mattia Bianchi. I'm a professor of innovation management at the Stockholm School of Economics, and I'm going to have a few guests joining me in this conversation. First of all, Michael Treschow. Michael, please, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mattia.
So Michael is one of the most influential business leaders in Sweden. In his career, he has been at the helm of multinational companies like Electrolux, Unilever, Atlas Copco, and Ericsson. And Michael, in 2003, has created a scholarship that awards 100,000 Swedish crowns to a design student who wishes to continue his or her studies beyond the bachelor degree. And you started in 2003, so it means that we have more than 18 winners since the beginning of this scholarship. Let me say a few words about the institutions we are broadcasting from and also that are co-organizing the scholarship with you, Michael. And then I'm going to ask you a few questions about the history and the present and the future of this wonderful initiative. So we are from the Stockholm School of Economics, which is the #1 business school in the Nordics, according to Financial Times rankings. And within the school, there is a house that does research about innovation, entrepreneurship, digital transformation, new product and service development. Then if you look well within this house, you can find a garden. And the garden is a research center where we play and have fun. And we work with phenomena that are at the intersection between design, leadership, and innovation. And this center was created a couple of years ago. And it was an initiative from myself and in particular from Professor Roberto Verganti, who is with us today. So Roberto, please, if you can.
Good morning, Mattia. Good morning, Michael. And good morning to all who are connected. Yes, the garden was created a few years ago when I joined SSC from Milano, from Politecnico di Milano, who you probably know is one of the center of design worldwide. And I joined teaching a course that is leadership and innovation. And the idea here is to bring design at the core of business. We know that design and business are very strongly related, and this is the reason why this scholarship is handled by an institution in economics and business, because design has a major impact in the way we transform the world. And what we're trying to do is also to explore the interconnection between the design perspective and the way leaders lead. So also the way you transform organization.
Thank you, Roberto. So, Michael, we want to hear from you about the scholarship. What is it?
Well, it is actually to help bachelor students to take the next step, and in a broader concept of design. It's not industrial design, even if that's the part I've been closest to during my career. But I mean, thinking, design thinking is the word I always try to embed in whatever people are thinking and doing. And I hope that that can push more people to try to take another step, to be a little courageous and be a little curious. What is there? What are the possibilities? And particularly in a sustainable way. And sustainable, I mean broadly. It's not only environmental, it's actually social impact as well.
I mean, you were a pioneer, because in 2003, I mean, today design thinking is popular. Big consulting firms acquiring design agencies to introduce design thinking in their own portfolio of services. But, you know, I think design thinking became popular in 2008 with a few articles, and eventually, you know, it became what it is today. But in 2003, it was not in the conversation. So you were really a pioneer in this. Why did you create it? How did this happen?
Well, almost 20 years ago, I was asked what I wished for a present for my birthday. And I was thinking, because I didn't really, there was nothing I needed. So I was thinking and say, well, something that can help young people to move forward. And then it came sort of, I don't know really how, but it came then that why not help me to create a scholarship? And then it started to formulate itself into design, because design and creativity was actually the thing I was thinking most on. And creativity is what I meet with those young people that go for design studies, etc. Creativity will be needed more and more and more. So that's how it started. And I got some money, and then the rest is history.
Yes, but it's also present, right? Because, I mean, 2003 means that the scholarship is an adult now. I mean, grown up and, you know, being in the maturity stage. So how has the profile of the winners changed over the years?
Very much in the beginning, it was industrial designers. But then I think it became evident in the process. And I don't know exactly when there was a winner who was more in textile and clothing. And then it becomes colors. And so all sorts of thinking. So now I don't know really. I think it depends on the recipients, because they are the trends. I'm not the trend. They are the trends. They know what's going on. They know what the problem they want to solve. They know what type of citizen they want to be for themselves and their children, etc., going forward. So they are the trends. So we just want to make sure that we help them.
Yeah, put them in the conditions to excel and thrive. It's makes me think how the scholarship is really mirroring what is happening outside, with design becoming relevant in so many different fields and contexts. And, you know, the scholarship shows just that.
And hopefully, I think that it becomes more embedded in leadership, because leadership is such a broad phenomena and needs to be state of the art all the time.
Yes.
It's not what I learned, it's what's happening today.
Yeah.
And actually lead the future.
Yeah, which is really at the heart of what design is. Before we move on into the technicalities of the application, Roberto was just thinking to, if you have any comment based on what Michael told us.
Yes, I mean, I totally agree on the potential of design to contribute to leadership of school, and I think that the thing I like about design in leadership is that it connects. The design is this, we talk about design thinking, but design is this powerful way to connect the mind and the hand. So it's bringing the actual leadership very close to the real reason why corporations exist. Eventually, corporations exist because they deliver product and services. And if product services don't have meaning, the entire organization don't have meaning. So there is a very close connection between design and the entire reason why leaders do think your organization exists. It's a very magic place to work on.
Super interesting. So let's share a bit of information about how to apply for the scholarship. So the applicants need to have a bachelor degree within a relevant field, and relevant basically means design in a broad sense. And they should have started, or they plan to start their master program, so master studies. If you have already a master degree, you're not eligible to be a recipient of the scholarship. At least one of the programs should be in a Swedish university, either the bachelor degree or the master degree that you intend to take. We are interested in, of course, seeing and assessing and enjoying your portfolio of works, of design works. And as you have listened and seen in the video, we are really looking for originality. We are looking for a vision. We are looking for an impact to the broader society and to the all the grand challenges that this planet faces.
And being a little brave.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brave, bold, wild, and to surprise us, really. We are grateful. We would like, of course, the winner to then attend the graduation, well, the award ceremony, and to be available to spread the word and contribute to the scholarship also in the future. Actually, Michael, you were telling me before that previous winners are basically an active part of the scholarship organization because they sit in the jury that decides who the winner is going to be.
Yeah, so all the recipients are invited. And of course, not everyone can come, but it's a big crowd when we have the fantastic jury afternoon, evening.
Yes.
And I must say that's really something I enjoy tremendously, and get all the input and also see what has happened to all these recipients. The first one, the latest one, Natalia, or etc. I mean, it's a great, for me, it's really something very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a very meaningful moment for you. Yeah. I mean, when that happens, see that crowd of, and discovering how talented eventually they are, and what they have done in the meanwhile, so that your scholarship played a role in what they did. What is it that you need to submit? A CV, a letter of motivation where you explain how the program you are taking relates to design thinking, the topics that we've been discussing, and also how you're gonna use the scholarship how you're gonna leverage these extra resources to basically realize your potential and make an impact. And also we would like to see your digital portfolio of works. So do not miss the deadline, which is end of August, and you should send all these documents to us by email. You can see the email address in the slide. So outreach.hoi@hhs.se. And if you forget, of course, just look at the website to find the information you need. Roberto, I think now it's time for you to interact with Natalia and tell us a bit why she won the award last year and what she has done in the meanwhile.
Good. Yes, Natalia Ikebara, you're the latest recipient of the Michael Treschow Scholarship. So I invite you to first of all maybe say something about you and your background, who you are, where you are, and where you're studying, and then maybe show a little bit of the portfolio that eventually was awarded through your work. So who you are, what are you doing this moment?
Okay, hi, I'm Natalia. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm from Argentina. I also have a Japanese background, and I studied my bachelor back there, and then I moved to Sweden to start my master degree here in Umeå, up north. And yeah, I just recently graduated. So by the time I was applying for the Michael Treschow Scholarship, I was planning my thesis in that meantime. So it came really in a good time, winning the scholarship and getting it. Yeah.
It's good. And can you maybe show something of the work you've been doing, so we see also is a good example of what every year is different, of course, but you know, can you give an example of what has been awarded? I
need to
share the screen. Yes, we need
share
to
the screen.
Unshare our screen.
Yeah.
And
yes.
Perfect.
Perfect. So I can just quickly go into my portfolio. So these are some of my works that I did while studying. I'm really into healthcare, as you might be. I don't know if I need to explain in detail.
Just a question, you did this alone or you did this with other students?
This one was with other students. So we usually have group teams and individual projects. So this one particularly, that was for ICU environment, was done in group collaboration. So I really always try to work with a hands-on approach, prototyping, testing. That's something that I really enjoy doing in the process, and I encourage my team to, I'm always the one pushing for that, right? And here you can see the whole solution is a monitoring system for these environments where they are in intensive care units. So it's basically to make the whole transport process in this type of situation more efficiently.
Where everything is full of cables and things.
Yeah, everything is full of cables, and nurses have a lot of trouble. Everything is untangled, so the solution was trying to solve that problem, to speed up, so they can speed up the process of moving the patient from one room to another one in this type of environment.
And the reason why we said that you did this in team, because of course, when students send a portfolio, it's totally fine if they send things that have been done in teams. Of course, across the portfolio we see what you contribute to. So what we like in this project when we were discussing was the depth of analysis and the quality of the result. It was really both the process that you documented and the final result in terms of quality. It can be the envy of a professional design company.
Yes. It was really fun. It was a really fun project as well. And this one was individual. So yeah, this one was related to victims that are involved in car accidents when there is a car collision, for example, and the first responders that are usually the police, the firefighters, and the paramedics, they have to remove the person, they have to collaborate. So I did a training tool for them to train, to be able to train in a more accurate way this technique, because there are a lot of techniques to remove this the victim out of the car or the vehicle. So it's a lot about collaboration and being on the same page and teamwork, right? Yeah. So again, like I did a lot of research trips with the school, trying to understand how they work, how they collaborate. I went to the paramedics, to the ambulance station as well, to get more insights from them. And you usually see a lot of people around the victim, right? So I came with the idea of, like, when I was there in the training session, I was like, okay, but how can they really, the instructor, it's only one instructor and a lot of people, how can they really know if they are doing the technique in the right way, right? So that was my solution was focused around that, to train in a more accurate way. So again, like this is a little bit of my process, how with a hands-on approach, like sketching, building models, mock-ups, testing, and then this is the final result. So it's a sensor. There are like 4 sensors that you can attach in the back and in your head. And this, you put it in the person that is supposed to be the victim, that is acting as a victim in the training. And by, I will show you quickly here. Here you can have an overview how it works. The person puts the sensor, you have to calibrate it, and then that whole team is pretending to do different type of exercises and techniques. And you will have kind of those sensors will track the victim spine movement, and you will be able to have that information in a tablet. So when you want to go back to know how, where you made the mistake, or if the spine was not really aligned, because this is something really important. The spine has to be straight, otherwise the person might not walk after you remove it if it's not straight, in a straight position. So all these kind of mistakes, you would be able to track it in the digital interface and go back. Yeah. Very interesting. Then you had another one. Let's see. I have well, this one is it's more technical. Maybe we can skip it. But this one, for example, yes, is a little bit more emotional. Yeah. Is to be able sometimes partners in the pregnancy moments. Sometimes the woman feels a little bit alone, and it's hard to kind of express the emotions or feel the kicking and like how the baby moves. So this was also a group work, a teamwork. So we tried to make a device where the partner could like put in the belly of the woman and try to feel the heartbeat, the movement of the baby, and you will be able to track the progress of the pregnancy movement. So to be more connected with your partner. Natalia, and we say that, we tend to say that design nowadays is not about aesthetic, it's about, but I have to say that the aesthetic quality of your work is outstanding, really. So, and given these are emotional products, aesthetics matters, of course, it's not marginal. So a couple of questions on the scholarship. In a way, is a way to help you to continue in your path and fulfill your dreams. So what happens now after you receive the scholarship? How is the scholarship helping you to move forward, and what is your dream? So, well, basically, like, first of all, the scholarship like really helped me throughout my master thesis, right? Also to afford my living here in Umeå. And now on, like, I will start working in Oslo, but I'm quite sure that I will. I'm a curious person, and I will keep studying or developing my skills as a designer. So I think it will really help me with that as well.
And if you can describe you as a, I mean, what is your perspective to design and that you would like to explore and pursue further? I see you work a lot on healthcare.
Yeah, I like healthcare a lot. I like this connection with being in contact with the patient, but also like in healthcare, you usually have a lot of stakeholders involved, nurses, doctors, and a lot of people. So I really like to be the one that is bridging.
So what is your thesis about?
So I can show you a little bit. Let's see if I can share. Can you see here this project? Yeah. Okay. So this project was, I focus on hand therapy for kids that have motor disabilities, and I focus in hemiplegia, which is the type of, it's a condition where kids can't move half of the body. It's similar to a stroke. So you understand, it's caused by damage to the brain. So but this happens since you are born. So you will have this disability for the rest of your life, and they have to train a lot. They have to go to a lot of therapy. So sometimes it's a little bit boring for them because rehabilitation usually is quite repetitive. So you have to do it in a way that they are not thinking about it, like the exercise, right? So it has to be addressed through play. So I focus in trying to bring more playfulness in the hand rehabilitation. So so you can see a little bit of my process here. This was a workshop where we were ideating, designing with my classmates. That was the first kind of getting a lot of ideas, because in the design thinking process, you always go like broad, and then you merge and then you go broad away. So in this phase, I was going really broad, and let's see if I can. Yeah, as I like a lot of prototyping, testing with kids, since I did it in Argentina. So I also use the scholarship to travel there, test with kids my solution. And you can see here the final result. So I will explain it quickly how it works. So it's a set of different type of controllers where kids can exercise the hand motor skills while playing some digital therapeutic games. This can be used, I mean, I started the project thinking in the home environment, but perfectly this could be used in the therapy session at the rehabilitation center as well. So it's a really flexible system, how I thought about it, where you have this ball over here that has a motion sensor and is the one that has the whole technology. And by putting this ball in the different cases and also attaching different handles and knobs, you will be able to build different type of controls. So this is the overview of the different controllers. You have the push, the red one is a push control. The yellow one is a turning control. The blue one is a slider control. And then you have the ball to do some other type of exercises. I will just go quickly here. You have the overview. So this is the ball that you go up and down with your hand to exercise arm wrist movements. For this kid, it's important. You have the turning control and you have different handles you can switch from it, and also the digital therapeutic game. I don't know if I have a lot of time. That's why I'm rushing a little bit.
Natalia, so now the future is that you're moving to Oslo, I heard.
Yeah, I'm moving to Oslo to start working there.
In the healthcare always, or?
No, it's an agency, consultancy. So it has, has a broad, there are a lot of different projects, but they also have healthcare. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Michael, how do you feel when you see this project?
Well, I think that's fantastic. Natalia is really a good ambassador for what I would hope for. And making sure that make life easier and better for many, and not the least for children. I think your project, your thesis here is really heartwarming, and I hope that you can make sure that it comes to reality and it comes to practice, because it's a fantastic concept. I really like it in that sense, that figure out ways that that it's fun and a little curious as well. What is this?
Yeah.
How do you turn this one, etc.? So very well done. I'm very proud of you, Natalia.
Thank you very much, Michael.
It's really fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic designer. I was just thinking as we move to the conclusion of the webinar, just checking with Anna, Uda, Feng, Mui, if you have any questions you would like to ask Michael or us, we are available. Okay, well, you think if you have any, maybe I can again involve Roberto in the conversation. Roberto, you are a researcher and scholar. You are a bridge between the business discipline and the design field. What is it that you are seeing right now? What is happening in the research community when it comes to future trends, dynamics, evolutions of design?
What we see is a kind of a change of era in design. For a long time, for about 20 years, design has been dominated from what is used to call a user-centered perspective. So very strong. You start from the user to design and things. The big challenges of the world in this moment are more systemic when we talk about mobility. But the example we saw before about healthcare, for example, in which it's very difficult to recognize one user. I mean, in healthcare, there is a patient, there is the nurses, there is a doctor, there is the administration, and it's very complicated. In mobility, I mean, there is, of course, there is a driver of a car, but there is the citizens, there is pollution, there is. So, with the more we are focused on the grand challenges of the world, the more the perspective become what we say systemic. So there's a big growth of system design compared to what it used to be in the past, and which means we need to develop new tools, new perspectives. What is very interesting in system design is that given there are multiple stakeholders, designing becomes really an act of bringing together different perspectives. We sometimes with Mattia, we talk about, it's more making sense of things, more constructive, because there is no one person who has the truth. I mean, if there is one user, okay, I listen to this person and then there is a truth. But when there are multiple contrasting interests, then the capability to make sense, in a way, design is getting close a little bit to politics in the capability to bring together different perspectives. So it's a big, big shift.
Yeah, the other big transition that we see in when it comes to design thinking in business is moving a bit away from design thinking as a creative problem-solving methodology. I mean, if you look at what has been written about design thinking over the years and how it has been used by companies and consulting firms, is as, to solve current problems. But this is a bit limiting, we think, because design can be used to imagine new possibilities, to work with problems that do not exist yet, but today. But they might exist in the future as new technologies are introduced, as our cultural awareness changes, as society poses new challenges eventually. So we are a little bit working with design thinking more as a method for imagination. So of course, design thinking to envision new scenarios, new worlds, something that is called world building, and then you you create videos to immerse the viewer into this reality that doesn't exist yet. So this is called design fiction videos. And the point is not to predict what the future will be like. The point is to explore alternative plausible worlds that might come to be. And with those spark conversations, provoke a debate, reflect on what will be the needs of people in such a world, and what ethical dilemmas will be created, and what will be valuable to people. And this might be very different from the reality today. So this is a little bit what we're working with.
And I think you, both of you are really in the forefront of trying to look for the future. But now also we are, I think the big question will be how we will handle the aftermath and the consequences of this terrible war. Because it's not only for the Ukrainian people, it becomes really for the world. How to, what can we do in order to reinstate sort of a normal living? That in combination with, call it save the planet, but I mean, it's not really just to less water or whatever, but really to think, what can designers help us to think what can be done in the future in order to minimize the impact on the planet, or both environmentally and socially? I think that's a fantastic work that has to be done. Absolutely. And a lot of thinking in order, as you say, not now necessary, but really what is needed for the future.
Absolutely. And it's one of the most complex thing to do. So we need all the talent, the brain power, and also the empathy and the heart to do that. So some resources from the scholarship are needed to do that. So thanks, Michael, for making them available. Let me check with Anna, Uda, Feng, Mui, if eventually you have come up with any relevant question. Otherwise, I ask Michael for final words.
Oh, it's so exciting. You can see now both what Natalia is doing, what Roberto and Mattia is actually presenting. There's a fantastic opportunity for you who wants to take the next step in your education and curiosity. So please apply. We would like to have good results on that application in order to figure out who is going to be the next recipients after Natalia. And Natalia, see you in the jury work. We will need you. So thanks a lot. Thank you very much for both Roberto and Mattia to make this possible. I think it's a fantastic good feeling, and Lina and Marie and others who make it possible. So thanks a lot.
Thank you, Michael. And I guess this is a great way to end the webinar. And again, please apply, because it's a great opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice summer.
Have a good day.
Thank you.